So I'm at this stage in my project where I have completed my drawings. My composition is full. There's overlapping, it's balanced, there is movement and variety. I've inked over all of the lines with a gradual thick to thin line weight change. I have planned or practiced ideas for my backgrounds, and now I'm ready to apply my background in all of the negative spaces. So what I want to do is I'm going to look at my ideas, and I found this idea, I really liked it because my idea is the Swedish heritage. I have that Dala horse. And what this is from is like a sweater pattern, a traditional pattern you would find in a knit sweater, and I really liked it. And then I practiced it and I discovered it was too hard to draw. So I kind of had to make a plan B. So my plan B was this pattern right here where I am using, it's a lingonberry, which is a traditional Swedish kind of berry or jelly that you would put on food. So I think I'm going to go with this one. Notice that I did fill up the entire square. That gives me an idea of if I think I could actually draw it in that whole background negative space. So before I go any further on my project, I do want to make sure that I've erased all my pencil lines where I'm able. And the thing right now, it might be a little tricky to see what is positive space and what is negative space. So positive space is anywhere a drawing is taking up the paper, and negative space is all the empty space. So that's where I'm going to be putting my pattern that I practiced already. So because I like to plan things and I like to practice before I apply it to my project, I'm actually going to draw out my pattern pretty loosely and lightly in pencil. So I have a pencil, a 2H pencil, I have a ruler, and because this is a more linear pattern, so it runs in lines, I am going to decide how I want that pattern to go on my project in the background, the negative spaces. Do I want it to go up and down? Do I want it to go to the side, an angle? And I think just kind of to make it have better contrast, I'm going to run my pattern up and down. So I'm going to put in a few light guidelines where the stems are going to be. Now, don't press too hard because eventually you're going to be erasing these lines. You do not want them to show up in your final project. So again, I'm kind of using this process of planning in pencil and then going over in ink or pen. And that just is going to give me a higher chance of success. And it's going to help me be just a little bit more neat and ordered in my pattern. So really light lines. Now I am going to start applying that pattern. So what I found out when I was practicing is that the easiest way to do it, and actually I'm going to put this right next to here, the easiest way is to start drawing the circles, fill in the circle. Now when I do that, I want to be very neat, making sure I am using good craftsmanship. Then I go to the next circle. Now these are not perfect circles. If that was very important to me, I would get a circle tracer. Notice when I get to a drawing, that positive space, that I have it look like my pattern goes underneath so that there is even more overlapping. So it's up to you how you want to work. Maybe you want to do the whole negative space with just the red dots first. Maybe you want to do some area first and then finish that and then move on to the next area. But I am paying attention to craftsmanship. I want to make a note here. Let's say I had let's see where more negative space is. So this negative space continues up behind here. So I want to make sure that I figure out a way to continue that pattern up there. All right, so on mine, I have this red pen for one color, and then I'm gonna use my flare marker, my fine line marker for the other part. So again, I am going to complete one part. If it runs in or touches a drawing, the positive space, then I just stop. Okay, and then the last part of my pattern are these leaves. Now, in the original reference photo, so that's the thing that I was looking at when I found this idea, the leaves were actually green. And I decided not to use green in my background because I feel like it wouldn't give it unity. So if I all of a sudden started using green in my background, then it might be too much variety and not look like it actually belongs. So up here, it looks like I probably should have just a little bit of a berry. And then, so you do want to continue your pattern all the way to the edge of the drawings. Use good craftsmanship. So right here, I don't know if you can see, inside, I'm coloring this in solid, but I didn't actually make it all the way colored in. So look at this little white dot here left in inside the berry. So that is how I go ahead and start my background. I'm making sure I have really good craftsmanship. I am using a light pencil to lay out first before I start on the final inking process.